That can be found in a variety of stores and specialty shops, like Hemp in the Heartland in Sacramento, California.
Kyle, it's amazing all of the things that use hemp.
Definitely. We carry clothing, food, paper products. Hemp yields something like 4 times more paper per acre than wood pulp, so it's an incredible alternative.
The U.S. is one of the biggest markets for hemp items. Dave Monson hopes one day to supply the crop. In 1999, North Dakota became the first state to legalize hemp cultivation. And Monson was the first to receive a state license. He still can't grow it, however, because the law also requires federal approval. So far, that hasn't happened, which means North Dakota farmers will keep up efforts to someday get the crop into their fields.
Hemp has played a role in world commerce for thousands of years. The plant was originally cultivated in China to make rope, as well as fishnets. Hemp was widely grown for use in paper-making early in America's history. In fact, the Declaration of Independence is written on parchment containing hemp fibers. Still to come on America's Heartland, we'll travel to Montana to meet a grower who went from the farm field to the halls of the U.S. Senate. And farmers in New Jersey take a hands-on approach to help feed the hungry.
It's hard to be a farmer or a rancher pretty much anywhere in the heartland without being involved in politics, at least at the local level. There's land and businesses to protect and interests to advance. As you've seen many times on this show, farmers and ranchers tend to have strong opinions. And you're about to meet a third-generation Montana farmer whose views and political skills drove him straight to Washington, D.C. as a United States Senator. But Jason learned that after just the first few months in office, he's still a farmer, through and through.
I'm here to bring awareness to the fact that this country needs to legalize hemp farming. It's long overdue and we're sick of waiting. We got to let the people know that it's time to plant hemp. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to plant hemp on the DEA front lawn.
Nice.
Oh, they do bend. They do bend, do they?
No, that's all right.
Yeah, we need U.S. farmers to grow industrial hemp. It's time. Yeah, it's time. I want to make my products in the United States. It's not fair. I got to buy my textiles in China. This makes no sense.
Yeah, the American farmers being shut out. Chinese, Canadian, European, everyone except for Americans. These guys are keeping it for the bureaucratic money funding flow. It's just like it's just a waste of energy, waste of everyone's time and money.
Getting them in
Let
there.
farmers grow hemp.
Yeah,
American farmers just planted hemp.
Yeah, American farmers are growing hemp on the lawn of the DEA headquarters.
We're kind of all in charge.
Yeah.
I'm here to try to get the DEA to lighten up and let us grow industrial hemp. We're in Vermont, and the law has been passed already in Vermont that we can grow industrial hemp, but people are afraid of the DEA coming in and plowing in the fields that we plant. So that's the reason we're here, is to try to get the DEA to recognize that there are states that have already passed these laws and at least let hemp be grown in those states.
My name is Wayne Hauge. I'm from North Dakota. I'm a farmer. I'm a fourth-generation farmer. For the last 10 years, I've had an interest in growing industrial hemp. It would be a good rotational crop.
Oh, you did?
There are, just within the last 2 years, a tremendous reduction in the price of other grains. It would be nice to have a profitable alternative crop to grow.
Yeah, go down to area.
Every bit of sod we're popping up, we're putting back in perfect.
That's right. It's going right back in.
Pushed in there.
Yeah, no, that's
In support of
We're
this
planting
movement.
some hemp seeds. We need to have a distinction between industrial hemp and marijuana. This is simply a crop. This is not a drug.
Is that what your chance is, Art?
And I'd simply like to have the ability to plant a rotational crop.
Hemp is closed.
And how is our leadership unable to distinguish between
What does RCMP have on our...
Turn your best step off. Put your shovel down. Put your shovel down. You guys step back. Step back. I don't want you guys to get hurt. Give me your shovel. Don't need anybody to get hurt. Don't make your point about getting hurt. Or not to get hurt. What about my shovel? Have a seat on the curb. Whatever you want.
Sweet Adam.
On your back, sir.
I want to buy hemp as food. I want to buy hemp as clothes. I want people working. Let the farmers work. Legalize hemp.
That's right. Legalize hemp. Legalize hemp. Legalize hemp. Legalize hemp.
Legalize hemp. Let people farm.
I'm going to go right out here. Right here. Yeah, we need you.
Legalize hemp. Let farmers farm.
We got enough cars for people? See what you got. I'll stand by here.
And
We'll put
taking
two in the
everything
car.
from our farmers.
American farmers need hemp.
We get to sell hemp, but
It
it's
has a
3
crop
times the price it
rotation.
would be in Europe or China.
Heal our fields.
We're the only industrial country in the world that does not grow this plant. Every product derived from this plant is distributed freely and legally throughout this country, but we cannot grow the plant. We're here to bring awareness to that stupid fact.
And if we have to keep getting arrested over and over again, we will.
Yeah, I have quick, get them in, and then we're going to move, and I got
freedom here. We need liberty. We need to be able to grow hemp.
The Environmentally Sustainable Alternative. Part 1. Hemp History 101.
Long ago, when these ancient Grecian temples were new, hemp was already old in the service of mankind. For thousands of years even then, this plant had been grown for cordage and coarse cloth in China and elsewhere in the East. For centuries prior to about 1850, all the ships that sailed the western seas were rigged with hempen rope and sails. For the sailor, no less than the hangman, hemp was indispensable. The Conestoga wagons and prairie schooners of pioneer days were covered with hempen canvas. Indeed, the very word canvas comes from the Arabic word for hemp.
In 1813, the Americans took a trip across the Lake Ontario to steal a lot of hemp. First they captured old Fort York, the royal ship burned down. Then they went to harbor front to see what could be found. They filled 14 ships with hemp sails and hemp rope, burning all the rest before they torched the town down. The Brits got so mad, seeing Parliament a-burning. Revenge! They cried and burned the White House down.
In the old days, breaking was done by hand, one of the hardest jobs known to man. Now the power breaker makes quick work of it.
The hemp industry can now recover 95% of the fibers, rather than the 25 to 50% as before.
In 1935, Henry Ford's desire to unite industry and agriculture would lead to the formation of the Farm Commercial Council. The Commercial model would use the country's farmers to supply the industrial needs of the 20th century. The expanded markets would bolster the dismal state of affairs on American farms and ease the emerging problems of petrochemical pollution. Ford and the council would find support in the like-minded genius of Thomas Edison and plant geneticists George Washington Carver and Luther Burbank. In 1938, advances in hemp decortication equipment prompted Popular Mechanics magazine to call hemp the billion-dollar crop with 25,000 uses. The development sprouted a new kind of hemp industry in Minnesota, one poised to exploit the cellulose-rich herds for use in the plastics industry. In 1916, the Department of Agriculture published Bulletin 404, written by Leicester Dewey and plant and paper chemist Jason Merrill. Printed on hemp paper, the bulletin warned that forests cannot withstand the demands and praised the paper potential of hemp. Henry Ford had a vision of growing automobiles from the soil. At the company's River Rouge plant, researchers used annual crops to develop biodegradable car parts, and in 1941 unveiled a car whose plastic body was made entirely from hemp, wheat straw, and sisal. The bioplastic withstood blows 10 times as great as steel without denting, and its reduced weight promised better fuel efficiency.
1937 was my first summer to spend with my grandfather. And at that time, they grew hemp to make rope. And him and the next farmer had a machine, and you made your threads, okay? After you had it on the spools, then you would go and make rope. But then in the latter years of the Depression, they banned it. It was banned by the government of North America. It came at just when the Depression was right at its worst, in this area, about 1937. The law was passed that it was illegal to have hemp seed. It was illegal to have it, and it was illegal to grow it. It was actually illegal to have hemp seed in your possession. It was stopped being used by Mackenzie King. And I would listen to the old timers, my Uncle Bill and my grandpa and Fred Wagner and those people talking. Like, they really felt that they had been hard done by.
In 1942, in a full reversal, the U.S. Department of Agriculture presented the movie Hemp for Victory, encouraging farmers to grow hemp.
The hemp industry was in decline when the United States entered World War II. With the nation's supply of manila hemp and jute curtailed by the Japanese invasion of the Philippines, the government turned to the farmers for help. The war hemp industries built 42 mills throughout the Midwest. Hemp production rose dramatically as the nation's farmers produced 60 million pounds of fiber for the country's supply of cordage.
But then they banned it. It was banned by the government of North America.
In the waning years of the 20th century, the Earth's most useful crop re-emerged on farms the world over. For more than half a century, hemp was a crop in exile.
To bring into the world 200 million new people a year, that nearly equal to the population of the United States, and to not want to bring in a source of shelter and clothing and food is virtually irresponsible.
The heritage of the past is the seed that brings forth the harvest of the future.
Many years ago, hemp was grown everywhere and we don't know why. It's been so hard to get folks to see that it's the rope kind, not the dope kind. It's clean, it's organic, it's safe, don't panic. You can make anything from it. It's a miracle plant, there's nothing hemp can't do. We know you'll love it. The earth has a chance for survival. It's not just a fantasy. Get on board the hemp revival. Save a planet, plant a seed. Get on board the hemp revival. Save a planet, plant a seed.
Hemp, me say hemp seeds. Tasty hemp seed is what we all need. Hemp, me say hemp seeds. Tasty hemp seed is what we all need. We want to eat them to keep us all healthy. Tasty hemp seed is what we all need. Put them in our recipes, put them in our oatmeal. Tasty hemp seed is what we all need. Hemp, me say hemp seeds. Tasty hemp seed is what we all need. Hemp, me say hemp